going on, people? Welcome to Football Carnage, and we are back once again with another Real Madrid match preview. The Champions League games for this week are over, and despite a disastrous, biblical, catastrophic stinker of a performance that Real Madrid put in against Lille, we got to move forward, right? We got to look towards some La Liga action, because on Saturday, Madrid are going to be taking on Villareal at the Bernabeu. And this game is a big one, chat. This is a top 4 matchup. If you guys have not been paying attention to the table, Villareal are sitting in 3rd. And I feel like they kind of snuck up on me. I didn't know how good of a season they were having. Villareal are not a team that people are checking for. They're not a team that people are watching week in, week out. So to see them in 3rd above Atleti really threw me off. And that now adds more pressure onto this game. And I think usually I would be a lot more confident than what I'm feeling right now, because the form that we're on is just so up and down. We just saw the game that Madrid played against Lille, where they got absolutely dominated. That was the worst performance that we've had all season. And that's saying something, because we've had a handful of shit games in the league that we've just been able to scumbag our way to getting some kind of points from it. But we could have lost a couple of times so far. And with that Lille performance being the one right before this game, I am a bit reserved. So I'm going to try and separate our Champions League form from our La Liga form. Because in La Liga, our last 3 games, we've been cooking. And everybody knows that a few weeks ago, I was complaining about how we started off the season in terms of style of play. We were literally second half FC. The way that we were going on in the first half of games was diabolical. We were getting cooked by teams that are way inferior to us. We're letting them dictate the tempo. We're letting them create all these big chances. It was awful. We had to rely on Courtois to make save after save after save. And I told people that was not going to be sustainable. But ever since that Espanyol game a few weeks ago, things turned around. In the first half, we were the team that was cooking. We were the team that was creating big chances, dictating the tempo. And we saw that against Espanyol. We saw that against Alaves. And then we saw that against Atletico Madrid, where we dominated. So that's the kind of form that I want to see us go into this Villareal match on. But again, in the back of my head, I'm thinking about this match that we just had against Lille, where we had no creativity coming from the midfield, where our attack looked non-existent. Lille's right back, when he got home and he emptied out his pocket, Vinicius fell out. We were awful. And seeing how good Villareal look in terms of their league standing, and we'll talk about their form a little bit later, is making me be a bit more reserved. So I'm not going to come out and just say that this should be an easy 3 points, because I said that quite a few times this season, and I ended up getting humbled. As I said, the fact that we're still unbeaten in the league is a miracle. Las Palmas should have beat us. Real Sociedad, they hit the post 3 times before we even looked like we were going to score 1 goal. They could have been up 2-3-0 by halftime. So I'm going to show Villareal some more respect. You know what I'm saying? Just things that have happened lately got me feeling real humble. But I still do expect 3 points. It's just, what kind of performance are Real Madrid going to put in that first half? Because when we started off those games well, the last 3 times we played in the league, it ended up being good performances. But let's look at some injury news, right? Another day, another injury talk concerning Real Madrid. Look, we got a few key players out. Thibaut Courtois, right? He's going to probably come back after the international break, they're saying. But I'm not really too fussed about that because we have Lunin, right? Lunin, as we saw last season, is capable of being one of the best goalkeepers in Europe. We lost Courtois last season, and Lunin stepped up, and I didn't even have to worry about our goalkeeping play. Brahim Diaz, they're saying that he's going to be out until about mid-December. That's a big loss right there, right? One of our most important squad players. He comes off the bench and changes the tempo of games, gives us something different. So him being out, it's a miss. Danny Ceballos, he got injured after that game versus Real Betis. We haven't seen him since. I don't really care for Ceballos too much, but nonetheless, he is a squad player that does contribute. And then David Alaba, he just returned back to training. Well, no, not even training. I'm lying. David Alaba has just started running on grass again, right? He got injured, I think, last November, and he's still trying to work his way back. He's had a few setbacks as well, but they are saying that he is expected to return before the start of next year. So he might come back in December. Who knows? But yeah, these are our 4 players that are out for this game, definitely. Now, during the game against Lille, they're saying that Éder Militão was feeling discomfort in his thigh. So there's a possibility that he may miss this match against Villareal as well. I don't know the severity of the injury. At the time of this recording, nothing's confirmed. They're going to run tests on him, and I'm just praying to God that Militao's injury is not serious. Because it's only him and Rodrygo. Those are the only 2 center back options that we have that are really reliable. We dropped the ball in the summer. We didn't go get a young defender. We didn't try and replace Nacho. We didn't try and get somebody that can be the 3rd center back. I know that Jesus Vallejo is on the bench and he's fit, but Jesus Vallejo is shit. So if Militao is not fit enough to play on Saturday, then we're probably going to see Tchouaméni in that back line next to Rodrygo. So this is one to keep an eye on. And then another injury update that could possibly affect us for Saturday is Rodrygo. He didn't even play against Lille. He was an unused sub. And they're saying that the reason why Rodrygo did not play in our Champions League match was because in the Atleti game, he had discomfort with his back. And I guess Carlo just didn't want to risk him against Lille. So now that has me thinking, is he also not going to be available for Saturday? Again, at the time of me recording this video, nothing is confirmed with Militao or Rodrygo. These are just the injury reports that are coming out after our last match against Lille. So this could play a factor in the starting 11 on Saturday. But I just hope that both these guys are good, especially Militao, because we're just so thin in that back line. It's crazy. And it actually pisses me off because we let Manchester United sign Lenny Yoro, and I didn't have a problem with that. I'm like, all right, if they want to pay a lot more money than we're willing to, then fair enough. But I didn't think us not getting Yoro meant we weren't going to get any defender, because if Yoro was the only defender that we were scouting, then you should have matched the Manchester United's offer for him. Because now we're in the same situation, or not same, but we're in a very similar situation to what we were 12 months ago when we were dealing with all those injuries to start off the season. And by the grace of God, we were able to deal with all those injuries, and we still had a very successful season. But I'm here to tell you right now, this season does not look like we're going to be able to just skate by with all these injuries. We're struggling at the moment. So I need Militao, and I need my guy Rodrygo to be fit for this match. I don't need any injuries, chat. We need everybody to be as healthy as possible. Again, Rodrygo was on the bench for the game against Lille, but he was not subbed on because he's still feeling some back pain after that game against Atleti. Militao, he started the matchup against Lille, but felt some discomfort in his thigh. So if both those guys are out, I mean, you just got to add them to the long list of players that we already have missing. But regardless, without those guys out there, I do believe we have a good enough team where we should be getting 3 points against Villarreal, right? I mean, come on, guys. And when I'm looking at this table, you got Barcelona, who lost their last game against Osasuna. We got to capitalize on that. You can't fumble. I think we fumbled it against Atleti because then we would have had ourselves in a real good position to overtake Barcelona pretty soon. But by us allowing them to get back into the game, we messed that up. But regardless, right? Let's look at Villareal. I told you guys that they have a decent squad. Like, it's really underrated. Look at their talent, right? They got Alex Baena. You got Yeremy Pino. You got Jan Foyth. I think he should play for Tottenham. You got Gerard Moreno, who's been there for a while, right? He's a reliable striker for them. You got Nicolas Pepe, Yois Perez, Papa Gueye. Look at their team. Willie Kambawala from Manchester United. You got Juan Bernat. Chat. Eric Bailey. This is a decent squad. This is. Got some players that a lot of people might have forgot about, honestly. And I got to give them credit for what they're doing because Villarreal, they're not a team that spends a lot of money. They're not a team that has a big budget. So to see them sitting in third, right, this season, they've played 5 games. Well, they've played 8 games. They've won 5. They drew twice. They only lost 1 time. It's impressive. They're on 17 points. We're on 18. If they beat us, they go ahead of us. They've also scored as many goals as we have. But their issue is they concede a lot. They're getting into shootouts every single game. Look at their goal difference. They scored 17 goals. They've conceded 15, bro. So this is a game that could be high scoring. But I do just want to look at their recent form. Like, look at this. They got a draw with Atletico. They beat Sevilla. They beat Celta Vigo. They beat Valencia. Well, no, they drew to Valencia. They beat Mallorca. They got slapped by Barca. And then they beat Espanyol. And they beat Las Palmas. And, yeah, look at their games. High-scoring games here. So, good form, again. And if we play against Villarreal like how we did against Lille, they'll get something from this game. They will. We need the same form that we had before the Lille game. But let me know what you guys are thinking about Villarreal and their squad. Like, do you rate the players that they have? Have you been watching them this season? Like, who should we really be worried about? Because I know quite a few players over there. And then lastly, chat, let's build the starting 11 that I think Carlo will put out there. Now, I'm going to do 2 11s. I'm going to do one that has all the players that we think are available. And then I'm going to do a second one that factors in if Militao and Rodrygo are not fit, right? So let's just build the one right now that, you know, we think everything is regular at the club. So I'm going to go with a 4-2-3-1, right? Now, in goal, we're going to put Lunin. Obviously, with no Courtois out, this is the only choice that we have. They got a right back. And for this game, you have to go strong, right? You cannot really rotate against a Villarreal side that are on good form. So Militao, if he's fit, chat, Rudiger, left back, you got to go Mendy. Then the pivot, I would go Valverde, even though I would like Valverde to get a rest, but it's like he can't be rested right now. I'm gonna be real. Tchouaméni. Then I think Jude will play in that advanced 10 role. Got Vinicius. I think Rodrygo will start if he's fit. And then Mbappe, who's come back from injury super early, starts in the 9. So this is how I think that will line up. What do you guys think about this 11? I think this is arguably our strongest one. I think Rodrygo, if he's fit, must be back in the 11. I think if Mbappe is fit, which we saw him play a majority of the second half against Lille, then he must be out there as well. Tchouaméni, Valverde, double pivot, back line, solid as well. This is how I ultimately think we line up if Militao and Rodrygo are fit. Now, we saw the injury report that I showed. And again, at the time of this recording, nothing's been confirmed yet. So let's build a lineup that does not include Rodrygo and Militao in case they are injured and they do have to miss this game. So I'm going to stick with the 4-2-3-1, even though I feel like I cannot find it. All right, here we go. So I'm going to tell you right now, I believe, 1 second, chat. So if Militao is not able to play, I think Tchouaméni ends up in that back line. Tchouaméni is literally our third choice center back, even though he starts at DM. And we've seen him do a good job next to Rudiger at center back. So I don't really mind that too much. So same back line, right? Obviously, Lunin in goal. And then, just the only change here is Tchouaméni. Now, in midfield, we saw Camavinga make his season debut against Lille. I think Camavinga will just have to start again in a pivot next to Valverde. Then in the 10, still going to say Jude. And then same front three, right? I think, actually, well, no, can't be the same front three if I'm saying Rodrygo might be injured as well. So then I start Arda. Actually, I might want to switch up this formation. Because if Rodrygo can't play, actually, you know what? Never mind. Because I was going to say maybe a 4-1, like a diamond. But now we could keep the 4-2-3-1. Vinicius on the left. And then Mbappe. Striker. So this is the lineup that I would put out there if Militao and Rodrygo are not fit. Let me know what you guys think. Also, get in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are for this match, right? Let me know what starting 11 you want to see. Let me know what players you think are going to have a big impact. If you like Villareal, which players in that squad can cause us problems, right? Like, how do we set up against them tactically? I want to know what you guys are thinking. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Football Carnage, turn on those post notification bells so you guys don't miss anytime I drop a new video or I go live. We will be doing a watch along for this game right here on the channel. So I hope to catch you guys there. I'm out.